This right here is the Dr. ThunderSun show. Because of circumstances beyond his control, he will never show his face. But he vows to trigger your mind, stir your soul, and move your consciousness.
Welcome to the Dr. ThunderSun show. Thanks for watching. Where was I? No longer with us. Well, what happened was I went to go see the reporter, and the reporter took down my story. After I talked to that particular reporter, I went directly to the sociology department to talk to the director. I told the director the story. 5 days later, headlines, campus newspaper, instructor no longer with us. And you know what? It also said he was a danger to the integrity of the university. In retrospect, after slavery, would African Americans, if given a choice, come out the closet? Personally, I think more billionaires should. Things you never do drunk. Your craft, chess, and drive. Here's a little bit of relationship advice. Don't get married until you've seen the other person's other side. It does no one no good to be racist unless you have money and power. This story is called Saved by Ninjas. In college, me and the homies, we decided to stop calling each other nigga and call each other ninjas. It was just a more positive name. There was a party one night, we got in a fight. Me and the homies was at a party, we playing beer pong. It was off the chain. Hip hop music bumping. Well, we decided we wanted to leave, and a couple of ladies wanted to leave with us. One of the other guys at the party made a derogatory comment towards the lady, like, why are you leaving with them? So, you already know, we took off on them. Well, anyway, more of the story is, I ended up going to the hospital. I had a little cut over my head. My homeboy Bashan was like, hey, I'm going with you, homie. I'm going up to the hospital with you. I said, all right, bet. So we going up to the hospital. I get my little stitches, and we walking up out of the hospital, and we like telling war stories. Like, man, did you see how I DDT'd that fool? You know, man, we was just talking. You know how dudes do. Well, in the parking lot, there's this red, nice truck sitting on dualies with a lady in there, and about 45 years old, crying, mascara running all down her face. Me and Bashan, we walk up to the ride, we like, hey, are you okay, miss? She didn't even answer us. She was just crying and drinking as much wine out of that little box wine with the silver thing in the middle. She was squeezing that on out, popping pills. We said, lady, are you all right? She was like, no, but would you do me a favor? We were like, yeah, anything. Do you need us to go get a doctor or something for you? Do you need us to call your family? Anything. She was like, no, but I do want you to rape me, kill me, and steal everything you want. Ooh, when she said that, me and Bashan, we, man, a chill came over my body so motherfucking bad. We told her, we said, we're going to leave you in better shape than we found you. You believe that? You know, while Bashan was talking to her, I was like getting in the car, and I like got into the passenger seat, and I grabbed a bottle of pills and threw them up under the seat. And I got back out the car, and she didn't even notice because she was so drunk. She said she'd been trying to get pulled over, running red lights. All of a sudden, she was like, "You see that mountain over there?" And we look up at the Wasatch Mountains. And she says, "I'm about to drive my car off that." She said, "Now will you do me a favor? I'm going to ask you again. Will you kill me, rape me, do whatever you want?" We was like, "Lady, you got us messed up." I said, "We both go to school. Actually, we go to the university that's right across the street here." I said, "I'm a filmmaker." I said, "My homeboy, he a ballet dancer. Leading role. Just because we're dressed like this don't mean that we ain't educated and we just thugs." She was like just crying and drinking the rest of her drink and trying to look for her pills. And she just broke down hysterically. And she said, "I just want you guys to kill me and rape me and steal anything you want." I don't know, but it just did something to Bashan, and Bashan just hiked up his pants, and in the middle of the street, jumped up on his tiptoes of his Jordans, and did a 3 spin around pirouette. The most thuggish thing I ever seen. He did a scene out of the Nutcracker, which he's performing on the weekend. His show is this weekend. He's out here doing this on concrete. This lady's eyes got so big, she stopped crying and just looked at him in awe as he performed the Nutcracker on pavement in Jordans. When he got done, he walked over to her and he had some tickets to the show, the Nutcracker. And he handed them to her. He said, "Do you want these?" And she said, "Yes. I am a lover of the performing arts all my life. You don't even understand. I grew up with that lifestyle." He said, "Under one condition." She said, "What?" "Anything." He said, "As long as you go." He gave her the tickets. And after the show, she gave him flowers and gave us a card thanking us. Have you ever thought about this? I was watching a commercial the other day. Are minority babies the only ones hungry? First time in my life I learned to feel the glory without being drunk. You ever seen somebody and they were just really happy and you ask them, you say, "Why are you happy?" And then they say, "I don't know why I am happy." Well, they say if you can identify why you're happy, it won't last, because all that has to happen is that be gone. Here's some relationship advice. If you have a preconceived notion about your relationship, it's already stale. Have you ever thought about this? Is Jewish a religion or a people? I never get confused if I say, are Catholics a religion or a people? This story right here is called Little Red. Shortly after we moved from Chicago in rural Minnesota, my dad brought us piglets. I was the oldest, and I got a sister underneath me and a little brother. We were all pretty close in age. Man, no more than 4 years apart. Well, a little backstory on this. I was always good with hand-eye coordination. I'm telling you, one day I'm like sitting out there in the middle of the forest, and I got a rock in my hand. There's a chickadee on a pine tree limb. Now, you know how big a chickadee is? It's about this big. It's a little bird. You know, and I was about like, I'm going to say 12 years old. And I didn't try to hit the bird. But when I threw the rock up there, I hit the bird. The thing dropped out the tree, dead as a doornail. I had a slingshot one day. There was a chipmunk climbing on a tree. I didn't think I was going to hit it. I pulled on back. It's moving and everything. I didn't even aim. I just, bam, hit it, killed it, dead. It was something I didn't want to do. I wasn't even trying. With that being said, our pigs eventually got full grown. And when you raise an animal, or it becomes like a pet when you see it every day. So me and Little Red, that was my pig. Right? So it was a late night. It might have just, it wasn't a late night, it was an early morning. It was about 5 in the morning. And my dad comes and he wakes me up. He says, come on outside. So I go on here and I'm like, what are we getting up this early for? So that's what I was saying. I ain't say it out loud. I just got up, put on my clothes, and I followed him outside. And I noticed he grabbed a rifle. You know, that ain't even strange out in the wilderness in the country, because that's just how people do. It wasn't even odd to me. So he walks on out there and he walks in front of the pig's pen. And he says, well, it's that time. And I said, time for what? He said, it's time to kill Little Red and you have to shoot her. I must have was thinking, like, you out your mind. I ain't shooting Little Red. You must be crazy. He was like, well, I didn't raise her as a pet. And she is raised and she will be food. And you need to shoot her. So he hands me this .22 rifle. And I'm like, is you serious? Nope, I'm not finna shoot my pig. I'm not finna shoot Little Red. He said, you better do it. He got kind of loud and stern with me, like you better do it, or if not, me and you gonna have problems. So, you know, I slowly pulled up the rifle and I aimed it at Little Red, and she looked at me. And I looked at her, and we looked at each other. And I pulled the trigger. And she fell on her face. And she started crying. And pink stuff started coming out her nose. And she was flopping around everywhere. And then my dad got in there and he slit her throat. And And she just flopped around more and flopped around till she died. And didn't flop around no more. Have you ever thought about this? It's a man's world. But what puts everybody in their place? Mother Nature. Have you ever thought about this? Since we have tailbones, are we animals? You know, I'm an old timer, old school. I grew up using these, throwing these things. Never thought about killing nobody until I got a gun. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that most African Americans got PTSD. I'm going to prove it with one word. Po-po. I'm about to take power from the N-word. There's a place called Nigeria. People from Nigeria are called Nigerians. It's much like how you would call a person from Czechoslovakia a Czech. This story right here is called My Dog. In Chicago, it ain't no coincidence or it ain't a strange thing to see pit bulls hanging in trees of backyards like strange fruit. Well, this particular day, my friend older brother was going to feed this Doberman pinscher to his pits. And he was like, do you want this dog? Because I'm about to feed him to the pits for $25. Now, you know, we were a poor family. We didn't have a lot of money. So me asking my dad for this dog, I knew it was a long shot and it was going to probably be a no. But he said yes and scraped up the $25 and got me my first dog. His name was Chico. Now Chico gave me presents. You know, I was kind of in the background, but when I got this really nice dog who protected me fiercely, he made me feel like somebody. I loved him and Chico loved me. Well, this particular day, one of the bullies on the block was harassing me and Chico snapped at him and got him up off me real nice and viciously, you know what I mean? So he takes off. About an hour later, two kids my age come through walking their dogs. Strangers. I never seen them before in my life. Maybe at school every now and then. They like, you want to take your dog for a walk with us? I was like, yeah. You know, felt part of the in crowd. I was like, bet, let's do it. So we start walking our dogs. And then we were walking our dogs. And I mean, I'm starting to not recognize anything anymore because we've been walking for so long. It's starting to get dark. One of the boys that was I was following actually said, hey, let's stop up in this abandoned building. This is where we keep our dogs and stuff. We could use the bathroom up in there too. I was like, bet. So I followed them up this dark, abandoned building with broken windows, smell like dog doo-doo, piss. I'm talking about it was ratchet up in there. Broken glass everywhere, beer bottles, everything. So we go upstairs, we go up to the next flight, we go up to this next flight. I would like to give a big shout out And a big thank you to the Amish people for helping African Americans during slavery out of slavery by helping with safe houses and providing protection. Thanks. This show right here will teach you how to interact with people, how to interact with your family, interact, and hopefully change yourself. This is the Dr. ThunderSun show. A Live World production.